Got the Dylan out today. We're going to do some reloading, and I'm going to reload some 223s. I've got about 200 cases laid out here. Right now they are, at this moment, they are just being drying. I got some lube on them. And I got some bullets over here in the tray and some H335 powder in the hopper. But today's video is about prepping your cases. So if you're going to reload on a single stage press, it's not such a big deal. But if you're going to move into progressive presses, you can't just take range brass, lube it, throw it in your press. You're going to have a lot of trouble. And most of the trouble is going to come from primer pockets. You've got all kinds of cases here available to you on range brass, which is what I've got an example of down here on my bench. I've got commercial brass, I've got some military surplus brass, some other stuff out there. And I have prepped all this brass ready. And by I mean prepping, I have prepared the primer pockets. And let me show you what you can get into if you don't prepare your primer pockets properly. And it's going to mess you up. So I've got two cases out here. Let's put a magnifying glass up above here and see if we can get a little magnification going here. So the case on the left has just been through the press and deprimed, but it will cause all kinds of grief if you try to reload it. And the reason for that is, case on the left that is, it's still got the primer ring in there, the crimp ring. Military brass has its primers crimped in place. So you can knock that primer out pretty easily, but when you go to set a new primer, it's going to crunch, it's going to crumble, it's going to destroy. It won't go in that hole. So here's the same case on the right, and you look in there, you'll see a little shiny ring on the inside of the primer pocket there, where the primer pocket joins up with the case head. And that ring is where a deburring tool or primer pocket reamer I used cleaned it out. You can do it by hand, you can put it in a drill, you can put it in a drill press, whatever the case. Let me show you what that instrument looks like. I've got it laid out here. Here we go. Okay, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Well, there it is. Okay. So that device gets in there, and it will consistently size the primer pocket, and then that chamfering edge will take out that crimp. So you can do this by hand. You can put this in a handheld drill, cordless drill, or you can chuck it up in a drill press, just depending on how many cases you have. I usually chuck this up in my drill press and run a couple hundred cases through at a time. Now once you do this one time, you're good to go. You don't have to keep doing this over and over and over. Just one time, you process the brass, and then you can shoot and reload and shoot and reload and shoot and reload and never worry about it, because it'll all work just fine. But that first go around, if you don't catch it, it will go through the press, it will deprime and resize, but when you get to the primer station, it'll crunch. It'll crunch a primer, destroy a primer, it won't go in there. So beforehand, it makes good sense to go out and take all your cases that you picked up at the range, run them through deep priming only, then take them off to the side and ream all the primer pockets out, get them all nice and consistent, and then you're good to go. You only have to do that once. Okay, so a quick video on prepping your brass for loading 223s. One extra step you have to do, get that primer pocket ready to go. Do it once, you never got to worry about it. As long as you keep shooting and picking up your own cases, you don't have any problems. Okay, short video. Thanks for watching. Like, sub, and comment, please. Thanks. Bye-bye.